In November of 2019, I published my first Is It Worth It to Buy video on Secret Lairs, in which I did my best to assess the value and nature of this, let's be honest, pretty revolutionary new Magic the Gathering product. I had no idea at the time if Secret Lairs would continue, or if they did, how frequently they would continue, but within a few months, I began to understand this was a new part of Magic the Gathering now. There would be many new Secret Lair alerts to come. In looking more critically at Secret Lairs, I published this video, exploring their pros and cons, and most of all, my concerns and hopes for the product line. Since then, well, there have indeed been a lot of Secret Lair alerts, and in that time, I honestly think Secret Lairs have changed in terms of value, quality, and for me, my expectations. This video will be an exploration of my ever-evolving evaluation of Secret Lairs. It will consist of two aspects: a scripted analysis, such as what I am doing now, and I also will be talking off the cuff and off script as I open up many Secret Lair packages to inspect their quality and share my ever-evolving thoughts on Secret Lairs. While I will cover many ideas in this video about Secret Lairs, especially in the freeform section where I hop from topic to topic, the main points I wish to cover in this video are upon the quality of Secret Lairs with special attention to foils, the value of Secret Lairs, and what is needed to make any given Secret Lair worth it. Most importantly, I want to touch on what I view are the biggest concerns with Secret Lairs and whether or not they have fixed these issues or abandoned working on them entirely. Before those scripted remarks, let's start by opening some recent Secret Lairs and inspecting the foil quality while speaking without a script. But first, disrupt the electronics industry with these Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycon is a premium wireless in-ear speaker at the perfect price so that you can conveniently enjoy your favorite artists or audiobooks without breaking the bank. I use my pair almost daily. Raycon has clean, clear sound and a comfortable fit. It's almost hard not to use them. Try a pair of Raycons. They're easy to use and pair with your phone seamlessly. They also work with Siri or Alexa, the vocal assistant in your phone. That's cool because the connection link between your phone and Raycon is a huge 33 feet away. The connection is strong and the sound customization is even stronger. Choose from 3 different audio experiences: pure, balanced, or bass sound. I find that I use the pure sound setting the most. It's great for audiobooks and podcasts. Raycon even comes with a rechargeable storage case, so when they're not in use, they can be stored away easily, and they are durable. An accidental drop in a pool or puddle shouldn't leave you to worry. They are built to last. So if you've never had a pair of wireless earbuds and want to try them out, let me help you get started. Head to buyraycon.com/Tolarian community or click the link in this video's description for 15% off your order. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. So I order a lot of these Secret Lairs for the purpose of being able to inspect quality, see how things are progressing and changing with Secret Lairs, because honestly, I don't feel Wizards of the Coast does the best job communicating those changes or that information to us. But I do also see Secret Lairs from time to time that I really like. These from Dan Frazier, where we have the talismans in the Mox style, are one such Secret Lair that I think is a personal favorite of mine. Whether I had a Magic the Gathering review channel or not, this is a Secret Lair I would buy. It is everything I love in Magic cards and special Magic card art. And that actually brings me to my very first point about Secret Lairs, which isn't even about Secret Lairs at all, but my relationship with them. I am very surprised at how many people think I hate Secret Lairs or that they are some enemy of mine. I think this maybe comes from the fact that when I do my Is It Worth It to Buy videos on Secret Lairs, Secret Lair alert, no Secret Lair alert, that people think this is a reflection of hating secret layers because they're extreme or silly or intense. But that intensity is meant more to mimic the output of secret layers, which maybe is something I do not agree with. In fact, spoiler alert, that is something I don't agree with. I don't hate secret layers. In fact, I think they serve a really cool purpose. They make a lot of sense for Wizards of the Coast as a business, but I think they also make a lot of sense for us as players. When I do my Is It Worth It to Buy videos, I am taking that opportunity with the secret layers to have fun, to enjoy myself, because I have to do a lot of those, because there are a lot of secret layers. They come out so frequently, and every time they come out, there's 6 of them, 7 of them, 8 of them, there's special treatments, there's other things, and oh my goodness, new secret layer alert! And that's meant to be the mania of it. I, of course, am imitating the character of Garrett from Community, who did the Crisis Alert, which is where that started. And if you didn't see my last Secret Lair review, we got Eric Charles Nielsen, who played Garrett on Community, to cameo. And he was lovely. He actually used to play Magic, he told me. So I forgot to give him notes on how to pronounce words like Phyrexian. And when I got the tapes from him, he had pronounced Phyrexian correctly. And I was like, oh, that's great. And he's like, yeah, I used to play. It's been a little while. Maybe I'll try and get him back on the channel for a less comedy and more actual conversational video. But the reason I'm channeling his character is, as he said in interviews, his character is just someone who takes everything with intensity. Everything's a crisis thing going on. Oh my gosh. And that's how I kind of feel that secret layer announcements are, because there's so many of them and they're so frequent. And so when I am making my secret layer alert videos, I like to have fun with that, because can you imagine if my pudding is forever, my secret layer is forever sealed. Can you imagine if for every secret layer it was my usual dry analytical style from start to finish? I would get bored making that content. They've included a little thank you, a little collegiate thank you for being a part of the secret layer. So here we have the remainder of the talismans. I got all 10, and I got them in foil as well. And I'll talk about foils and quality of foils in a second, but I do want to take that opportunity before I even get to foils and other issues with secret layers to say I don't hate secret layers. I hate collector boosters, but even collector boosters have a great purpose in Magic the Gathering. They make standard cards more affordable. They make foils more affordable. So even while I would say don't ever buy collector boosters unless you are a collector, but just as the average player looking to get cards, don't buy collector boosters, I think they're terrible for the average player. They too serve a good purpose. Secret layers, though, I do like. But I don't necessarily like all about how Wizards runs secret layers. And that's some of what I want to talk about in this video as well. But let's start, as we finish up these talismans, with foils. Because foils have been from day one with secret layers one of the biggest problems that I've had with this product. The quality was worse than that of collector boosters and regular draft packs. Has it continued? Well, I have my thoughts. I actually think I can say with some confidence that the quality of foils has improved dramatically in secret layers. Now, this doesn't mean foils don't curl. They do. They always have curled, even in old booster packs from Magic the Gathering, even in the lovely foreign language ones with the better cardstock in days of old. They curled less, perhaps, but foils curl. That's fine. But the foils that were coming out of secret layers were curling incredibly. They were coming in the packages. You can go back in my videos and see that they were coming out curled. Well, here are foils coming straight out, and I'd say that's pretty flat. How curled will they get when exposed to air? We're going to find that out. These feel amazing, though. In fact, I'm going to say these are better quality than foils I'm getting elsewhere in Magic: The Gathering. Is it because these are the etched style? Insiders from the industry, not from Wizards of the Coast. I haven't been getting many whispers from inside Wizards of the Coast like I used to. I'm really persona non grata over there, God. But industry insiders have told me that this etched foiling has been popularized by Wizards of the Coast because it is them discovering and developing a method that curls significantly less. Now, it also reflects significantly less, as you can see on the camera. This is still a foil. In fact, I think it looks rather beautiful. Some of those early ones, like from Commander Legends, were really faded, kind of brushed away. This doesn't have that faded look. In fact, you can compare here to the non-foil and see that the coloring and the inking is pretty much the same. But you can also see that the reflection is greatly minimized. So that's the trade-off. And a very good question for the many Magic: The Gathering players watching this. Do you prefer foils in this brushed style where they aren't quite as shiny? Or would you prefer getting some lovely, lovely foil treatment like Days of Old, but are willing to sacrifice a curled card? Now, we're going to look at some other foils here that are in that traditional style in the Secret Lairs, and I'm actually going to leave them out on my desk over about 5 days to compare to other foils that I've left on my desk for 5 days. And you can see how bad one is versus the other. Even if those Secret Lairs that are currently sitting on my desk in my office do end up curling the same as any other foil Magic: The Gathering card, this will be an improvement. How can a curled Magic card be an improvement? Well, when Secret Lairs first came out, they were a lot worse. Social media and Reddit, for example, was flooded frequently with posts showing the terrible pringled quality of Secret Lair foils. Houses of Magic cards were made, accordions in binders, and of course, the endless pringled jokes that I myself participated in. And it is my belief today that Wizards of the Coast listened to these complaints. Let me be clear, I do not think the average foil quality of Magic: The Gathering cards is good or even acceptable. What I am conveying to you now, as someone who handles and examines a lot of Magic product, including Secret Lairs, is that I do believe Secret Lair foil quality has improved from what it once was, but again, still can use much further improvement. Many Magic: The Gathering players will say that going from extremely terrible quality to just regular bad quality is still unacceptable overall, and I won't argue that. But just in that I won't argue that, I hope that those many Magic: The Gathering players, especially those who have seen and handled early Secret Lairs and handle current Secret Lairs, can acknowledge at least that they appear to be much better than they used to be. Whether or not replacing regular foils that do very much so curl with those etched foils that do very little curl makes for an acceptable replacement overall, well, that's going to be up to, I guess, the community? It's beautiful. Just beautiful artwork. I know I'm giving these away. I'm not giving these away. I'm not giving these away. These are mine. I bought these for me. I didn't even buy these for Tolarian Community College or the professor. This Felwar Stone is for Brian to go in my decks that I personally play and love. But I am giving some of these Secret Lairs away, both opened and unopened, on my Whatnot stream. And so I don't know, as I'm filming this, goodness, I did it again, whether or not these foils are going to curl. I will insert a voiceover at the end. But here's some traditional foils, as it says. So let's see how curled they are. Now I can already see there's some in-package curl there. I can already see some. This is why they are moving to that etched foil, seeing how much people like trading it. I wish Wizards of the Coast would just have that open conversation and they'd just say, hey, just say it. Just say they'll curl less, but they shine less. Now, again, you go back in my old videos, I know, because I have it tattooed on my brain, how curled those first Secret Lair openings were. It was incredible. This is significantly less out of the package. I will not put these. Oof, that is already pretty curled. I will not put these, but not as bad. To look at this and say not as bad, but it's true. Not as bad as the older ones were. What will 5 days do to these? They may still need work. But look at how much more compared to the etched foil you get in shine here. You get that little beautiful colors, a little bit of rainbow. This is the foil and you're not really getting it, but you can see the difference here. Allow me. Traditional foil. I know I put these in the perfect sleeves already, but seriously, you get my point, right? You get my point. We'll leave these out for about 5 days in my office and see what happens to them. They are very beautiful. I'm glad I got these in non-foil as well. Foils out of things like my Commander product have been terrible. Precons seem to be the lowest quality, and as industry insiders whisper to me, that is because many precons, though not all, are sometimes printed at different factories than where draft and set foils are made. They're using different card stock. They maybe don't have the same quality assurances. And thus, we get even worse quality than this in those Commander precon foils and such. What's funny is Dominaria Remastered foils were some of the best. I'm setting this aside. I'm not sleeving them. I'm going to show them at the end of the video after 5 days. Dominaria Remastered collector boosters had some of the best quality foils and cardstock we've seen in forever. And again, insiders whispered this is because it was done at a high quality Japanese plant that used high quality printing methods and cardstock. And if you have not yet opened up a Dominaria Remastered collector booster box, I can't believe I'm saying, well, don't do it. I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like them. But if you haven't seen them, maybe ask there you go. I got it. I found the narrative. I found the thread of the narrative. This is why I like writing things out. Maybe go down to your local game store and ask if they have some that came out of collector boosters for Dominaria Remastered. And take a look at how they look like this, even though they're the traditional foiling method. Why can't they all be like that? Well, I have an answer for you, and I'm just an English major. Because they are printing at factories across the world, across the countries even, that are all using different quality machines, cardstock availability, etc. And it simply cannot be uniform given how much product is printed. Or at least that is what I hear. But speaking of all the quality of product printed, what about the quality of value that you get from a Secret Lair? That was one of my issues as well. The value of Secret Lairs overall is still in flux. There are often really good deals to be had, but more and more the emphasis seems to be on focusing upon special art treatments of cards rather than high-value reprints. This is not necessarily a bad thing. What it comes down to is the difference between jank and low-value but highly played cards. Take, for example, my beloved Talismans and Signets with the Dan Fraser artwork. Picking up, for example, one of each of the Ravnica Signets for your Commander decks at their lowest available price is not going to set you back too far in terms of dollars spent. And yet, I have no problem with 5 of these low-cost Signets being offered with special artwork for $29.99 or $39.99. You're paying, in this case, not so much for the card, but for the artwork. However, the fact that the card is a card you play is the critical part of this. There are far too many Secret Lairs that get offered with amazing, oftentimes phenomenal artwork on jank cards. What makes a card jank? Well, the fact that it really doesn't see play. So what's the point in my buying a Secret Lair that has awesome artwork on a card that I can't even run in my Commander deck? I think it's okay for there to exist two types of Secret Lairs. Really good reprints with really cool artwork and really cool playable cards that maybe aren't that expensive, but also have really cool artwork. And again, players can choose between the two. And again, while I'm okay with those two each being at the regular $29.99 and $39.99 pricing, I still firmly believe basic lands should be offered at those prices, but with multiple copies of each basic land. If you can't have uniformity of quality across different printing facilities, you should, at least in Secret Lairs, have uniformity of quality of value. And the most obvious example of this that I can bring up is basic lands versus non-basic lands in a Secret Lair. You should not sell 5 basic lands for $29.99. We know from Secret Lair, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, which was 100 cards, 50 of which were foil, for $100, plus a few throw-ins. We know from that Secret Lair that you can offer Secret Lair cards at $1 a piece, because it was 100 cards for $100. Basic lands, they're not worth the same as Jaya Ballard here, although actually I think Jaya's gone down in value, so maybe they are. But they're not worth as much as some cards that are sold in Secret Lairs. You should get, what's a good amount? I think a good amount might be 5 to 10 of each basic. You can do the arguments, but even if you were doing 5 times 5 is 25. 25 basic lands in the crazy art style for $29.99 or $39.99 in foil is still more expensive than the Commander deck was per card, and a better deal than one of each. I think maybe you should do 10. I think it should be 10 of each basic land in non-foil. Maybe up at $39.99 and $49.99 for the foil. That's a slightly worse deal for WotC than the Commander deck, but I think that's how it should be done, or some number in between. I wouldn't be upset with 5. I would be thinking 10 is very generous. Maybe they'll do 6. But I think that this should just be the standard for basic lands, and in the same way, that should just be the standard for basic lands. I think it should be the standard that every Secret Lair is 5 cards. Or more, but never less, unless the price is somehow less. You should not have a Secret Lair with 3 cards in it. Pay the artist more, add more cards. I like that we get a bonus card. I wish Wizards maybe emphasized that there's a secret bonus throw-in. I think it's okay for them not to tell us what it is. I think that's a fun little element. I think that's fine. I don't have an objection to that. But I do think that Secret Lairs should always have a standard of 5 cards in them, unless it is basic lands, in which case it should be 5 copies minimum of each basic land. And I also think the price should always be $29.99 for the basic and $39.99 for the foil. Universality. You want to do fetch lands, you want to do shock lands, you want to do the allied talismans. It's all going in the same pot, Wizards of the Coast. So even if you're like, oh my god, we're selling 5 fetch lands in foil for $39.99? That's such a great deal for them. Yeah, but 5 allied talismans for $39.99. I could buy the 5 talismans for a lot less. I'm buying them just for the artwork. It all evens out, and it all equals huge sales, and it all helps with availability of game pieces, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about a company that promotes the idea that cards don't have value on the secondary market, that needs to not mention the secondary market. So why are Secret Lairs having different quantities of cards and different prices? 5 cards, $29.99, $39.99, unless it's basics, in which case you get 5 of each. Sound good to you? Sounds good to me. This is one area I feel Wizards of the Coast needs to improve upon. At the very least, if there are reasons why you're only going to have 3 actual magic cards in a secret lair that include 2 tokens done by the artist, or what have you. I gotta update my slivers deck. Gotta update my slivers deck with all these slivers because it's an all foil sliver deck. Yes, I know, Professor. #hypocrite, it's possible. But that is what I believe about contents of secret lairs, and that is an area that still needs to be improved greatly. The 3 biggest problems with secret lairs from the start, besides foils, of course, was the intense feelings of missing out, or FOMO, they created. Original designs, such as the Walking Dead cards being offered exclusively through secret lairs, and the value of secret lairs overall, both in regards to their financial worth and the effect that worth has on the secondary market in local game stores. But I am actually pleased to say the first 2 points seem to have been handled very well. Secret lairs are now available for a solid month or more, with their contents largely being spoiled well in advance of them actually going on sale. This greatly negates FOMO. While of course they are still only available for a limited time, that time is a lot less limited, and a solid month does a lot to negate feelings of missing out, as players can now sit and contemplate whether or not they truly want to spend their money on this particular item. I myself often wait until much later in a secret lairs cycle to even offer my own Is It Worth It to Buy video, simply because, well, there's ample time to contemplate that question. Is this evidence that Wizards of the Coast is listening to player concerns and acting accordingly? Is that what they have done with foiling? With the change of packaging to be more environmentally friendly, which it absolutely has become. And Wizards of the Coast has also, with I suppose one exception, stopped offering original designs, such as the Walking Dead cards, exclusively through secret lairs. That exception, of course, were the Street Fighter cards, although we have received what is now called Universes Within versions of those cards in regular booster packs. So yes, Wizards of the Coast has worked to improve on these concerns as well. I can buy E-Honda's Universes Within equivalent for 50 cents, and though they seem to be late in delivering on this last part, Wizards has also promised Universes Within versions of those Walking Dead cards. Hey, I am Wizards of the Coast's biggest critic, but even I have to say, when I look at the biggest problems that I and many other Magic the Gathering players had with secret lairs, I see that many of those issues were actually addressed. Now, this was probably done because secret lairs are a bonanza of business and they want to keep people happy and buying, but they fixed most of these problems. They fixed most of these concerns. And that also, going back to my original point, is why I am, despite what people seem to think, fine with secret lairs, and I even enjoy them and order them for myself personally. Well, for the most part. The truth of the matter is I think it's a grave mistake for secret lairs to be put out in such high volume. I know it seems like Wizards is printing money on their end. Wow. 3rd time's a charm. But I think that it would be easier for me to get behind secret lairs if there were less of them, and perhaps a little less in terms of the wild variations. This is beautiful. Nils Ham. This is another one that's just for Brian, especially that deep close skate. This is going right in a very specific commander deck of mine. I'm not going to say it because you haven't seen it on Shuffle Up and Play yet. Now here's a traditional foil that has a very different look to it. Look at that. Do you see how this one is reflecting more? I think Wizards is also experimenting with different traditional foiling techniques to avoid curl, though these seem curled like regular Magic cards are curled. Again, secret lair cards were hella curled, as the kids say, out of the box, and got even more curled out of the box. These seem curled like a normal card is curled, but again, we'll be showing you how curled they are. But I think that if secret lairs were done less frequently, with a little more class, a little more dignity about them, they would make for more memorable events. And I wish very much that Wizards said when the secret layers would happen or how many per year would happen so that we know. And I guess that doesn't make it secret. I don't know, maybe I'm taking the fun out of it, and maybe being able to do a million art styles means everybody sees something they love. Traditionalists like me, people who like the crazy cereal box ones. I don't know. This maybe is an area where we're talking about great subjectivity, as opposed to the objectivity that there should be a set number of cards, 5 always, that the quality should be better, that the value should be better. Perhaps. But considering that I began this video by saying I'm shocked how many people think I hate secret layers when I don't, I'm also going to end this video by saying when I look at the history of secret layers, and I have looked at the history of secret layers, it's been my job. In fact, I think it's funny how well Tolarian Community College just documents products. And I've often been surprised that even though prices change, and sometimes people argue with me about where I get my prices from. Oh, was that really TCG player low? Didn't add up. Yes, it was. Prices change. But even if you disagree about that or my commentary and analysis, I have documented things. You can go back and see me open up the very first secret layers in high quality, opening up every product, every booster box, including collectors most of the time. I skip the collectors sometimes. But at the end of all of that, for people to think I hate secret layers, having documented them from the start, I, blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast, will still say, with secret layers, it is my conclusion that Wizards of the Coast absolutely listened to player concerns about quality, listened to player concerns about packaging, listened to player concerns about exclusive cards only being offered in secret layers, listens to player concerns about local game stores, listens to player concerns about the short-term, gotta buy it now feelings of missing out with secret layers, listen to player concerns about many, many factors, and maybe not in all, but in most, have worked to improve the secret layer to being a regular, accepted part of the Magic the Gathering lineup, but also not a product that I have a lot of complaints over. I actually have more of a problem with set boosters than secret layers. But that, my friends, is another video. Here are those foils I'm going to leave on my desk for 5 days. How well will they hold up? Let's find out. So I actually ended up leaving these 8 cards unsleeved for the last 5 days, just on my playmat in my office. As you can see, the traditional foils have a curl to them. Just eyeballing this, it's essentially what a normal foil out of a booster pack would probably be curled as. Again, I'm not saying this is okay. I am saying that older secret layers had much worse curl, but look at this. The etched foils, let me just pick this up here. They have almost no curl at all. These are flat. These were sitting in the same room, same temperature, etc. Came out at the same time. Just some foil talismans. Whoops. So I do think it's very safe to say that the etched foiling method used here definitely is not prone to curling. Now, who knows if a month or 2 on my desk would have an effect? I do not know. But it's certainly an improvement over that traditional secret layer foiling that we're seeing here, not to mention how bad secret layers were in the past. What I also have are some foils from collector boosters. Now these I sleeved after opening them. Notice they're merfolk. I unsleeved these at the same time, so these have been 5 days unsleeved. There's a little bit more curl here, and I know it's not a perfect scientific test. I kind of just thought of this on the spot. But I guess as a reference of comparison, you can see on the right is what foils from collector boosters look like 5 days on the desk. They were opened a while ago, immediately sleeved. They look about the same. You could argue a little worse. This is not the most scientific method. I think it's very fair for me to say that currently, at least going by these secret layers, traditional secret layer foils are now curling about the same as any other Magic the Gathering foil, save of course for the etched foil, which appears to not curl at all, but has the drawback of not having that same foil shine. Maybe send a polite message to Wizards of the Coast about how much you liked those Dominaria Remastered collector booster foils and how much you think it would be worth it for them to figure out how to make that the new norm, but I guess that's another video. Hey, thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. You know, they've come back once again to offer a big discount to you. Head to buyraycon.com/Tolarian community or click the link in this video's description for 15% off your order. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
It's one more commander game with one more mana, and we're all playing what we think is our quickest commander. Move to declare attackers.
I don't want to have to say it again. Kill Ken first.
If you really want to make me suffer, you have to fight me behind the Arby's.
If I really want to make you suffer, I'll make you eat at Arby's.
Yeah.
Blake, I'm just going to go out in a ball of flames. You know what? You're in green. I'm mono red at heart.
I'm gonna tap my Piper. She's gonna sing a little song, and Donglade Regent's gonna come in.
Shake my fist to the sky.
Are you being mana screwed over there?
Yes, in a land deck.
Welcome to Fast Magic, where we search our libraries for longer than the turns take.